What price? A price cap. Downing Street has a plan to limit the cost of food, but retailers say it won't work. As experts warn that the price of food is replacing the cost of energy as the main driver of the cost of living crisis, the government keeps up the pressure on the big supermarkets.
We want to work constructively with supermarkets in a voluntary way as to how we can work together to address the increase in cost that we're seeing, particularly around food prices.
Also tonight, Russia launches a massive drone attack on Ukraine's capital. Another star speaks out with claims of concerns about the culture at This Morning. And the last fight for top-flight survival at the bottom of the Premier League.
This is ITV News with Geraint Vincent.
Good evening. Plans to get supermarkets to cap the cost of some food essentials have been drawn up by the government. Any scheme, it says, would be voluntary. Talks between ministers and retailers might offer some hope for hard-pressed households which are seeing the price of their weekly shop soar. But retailers say that the cost of food is directly related to the high cost of energy and transport. With more, here's our political correspondent, Tom Sheldrick.
Soaring food prices now appear to be the front line of the cost of living crisis. The government is asking retailers to try to cut the cost of basics like bread and milk.
We've announced considerable support with cost of living, but we want to work constructively with supermarkets in a voluntary way as to how we can work together to address the increase in cost that we've seen, particularly around food prices.
In the year to April, food prices rose by 19.1%. Dairy products are among the worst affected. Milk went up 33%, cheddar cheese 39%, and eggs 37%, with shoppers feeling the effects.
Yes, the prices are too much.
Less than before. For example, we buy less quantity than before, so we try to use weekly basis.
Yeah, well, I think it is a good idea to put a cap on the essentials, actually, like eggs, milk, butter, bread. I think it would help.
But the group representing retailers says they can't afford to lower prices after they were pushed up by factors including the war in Ukraine.
Everybody from the farmer to the manufacturer to the retailer has cut their margins. And in fact, the government today has said how low retail margins are. They're the lowest across Europe, near enough, and we cannot go any lower. So everybody has done everything they can to cut prices, and that's what makes this pledge so meaningless.
This is being compared to Ted Heath's price controls to tackle inflation in the 1970s.
The Ministers of Agriculture decided on such a revision, including a reduction in the price of butter.
The current Conservative government insists they will not impose price caps, and food price cuts would be at the discretion of retailers. For many shoppers struggling to afford the essentials, help can't come soon enough. Tom Sheldrick, ITV News.
In Ukraine, today is Kiev Day, traditionally a celebration of the foundation of the country's capital 1,500 years ago. Russia marked it very early this morning by attacking the city with more than 50 drones loaded with explosives. The Ukrainian government says most of them were shot down, but one man was killed when wreckage fell onto a petrol station. Callum Watkinson reports.
A message on the Telegram app says this was a drone strike last night in Kiev. Part of a 5-hour blitz described by officials there as massive. May the 28th is the day residents traditionally celebrate the founding of their city. Instead, they are again picking through the wreckage of parts of it. Assisted by his son, Volodymyr Golubenko is salvaging what he can. He is blind, but didn't need his sight to know the drones were coming. I heard them for the first time, he says, adding that the air raid sirens started at 7 minutes past 1 in the morning. I didn't sleep anymore. I have never heard them before. Meanwhile, in a beautifully produced online video, Ukraine's commander-in-chief hinted the long-awaited spring offensive could be imminent, though it looks likely now to be a job for early summer. And Russian state media put out these pictures from Bakhmut, as the leader of the Wagner mercenary group said victory there gives Russia an opportunity for a colossal offensive of its own. Kiev's mayor, alongside another slick video, said his city was under the protection of the forces of light. But on its 1541st birthday, this troubled chapter of that long history looks set to carry on. Callum Watkinson, ITV News.
In Turkey, polls have closed in the country's runoff election for the presidency. The count is underway right now of a vote that will set the political direction for the next 5 years. Early results suggested a slight lead for the incumbent President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. You can see there is with his supporters who are gathering tonight outside his official residence. The family of a 5-year-old girl has remembered their beautiful daughter and sister after she died in a house fire in Pembrokeshire last night. Emergency services were unable to save the life of Alicia Salisbury, who was pronounced dead at the scene. They'd been called to the property in the Ponteglasia area near Crumich just before 10 p.m. yesterday. Another This Morning star has spoken out with claims about the culture at the show, just as the flagship daytime programme prepares for its first airing since Philip Schofield quit the channel. The presenter admitted on Friday he had lied about an affair with a younger colleague, and Layla Hayes is outside the This Morning studios tonight. Layla, what are these latest claims?
Well, the latest claims are from the TV doctor Ranj Singh, who worked on the programme for 10 years. And in the last hour, he has tweeted saying he doesn't know the truth about what was going on with Philip Schofield, but that he grew increasingly worried about how people, including himself, were treated on the show. And he has described the culture on the programme as toxic. Now, there has been increasing speculation about the fate of This Morning and whether it could actually be axed, and it means that ITV have been forced to come out and comment today. They have issued yet another statement, and in it they say, as we said on the record yesterday, This Morning is not under review and there's no plans for the show to be axed. This Morning will return as normal tomorrow. Now, Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby presented the show together for 14 years, but on Friday he dramatically quit the broadcaster entirely after admitting that he had had an affair with a younger male colleague, a relationship he described as unwise but not illegal. It's now very clear that this has caused a rift between the pair. Yesterday, Holly Willoughby released a statement saying, "When reports of this relationship first surfaced, I asked Phil directly if this was true and was told it was not. It's been very hurtful to now find out that this was a lie." So clear tensions between the pair, but This Morning will be back tomorrow morning.
OK, Layla, many thanks. Sport now, and in Formula One, Max Verstappen survived a mid-race downpour to win the Monaco Grand Prix. Verstappen appeared to be cruising at the front, but his team delaying his pit stop in an attempt to coincide with the rain almost gave Fernando Alonso the chance to take the lead. But Verstappen held on to win his 4th race in 6 this year. It moves him 39 points clear of teammate Sergio Perez in the championship. Football, and there were dramatic scenes as 3 teams battled it out for Premier League survival. Everton, Leicester and Leeds were all fighting to avoid the 2 remaining relegation spots to the Championship. For Leeds and Leicester, only a win would do, plus the hope of Everton slipping up. Chris Scudder was watching as the drama unfolded.
Well, they come out after 69 years in the top flight. It was all down to 90 minutes for Everton failed to win, and it could all be over. Tension was tangible too at Leeds, where only a win would be good enough, but they made the worst possible start. Harry Kane's goal for Spurs throwing a spanner in the works of Sam Allardyce's survival hopes. That was also good news for Leicester fans nervously listening for news of their relegation rivals. And suddenly they were in ecstasy as Harvey Barnes scored against West Ham, a goal that would take Leicester out of the relegation places and put despairing Everton fans back in the drop zone. Meanwhile, at Leeds, it got worse. Spurs took a 2-0 lead. Sam Allardyce knew it was over.
The dagger into the Leeds United heart.
Then the crucial moment. A desperate Everton scored the goal that could save them.
That has just raised the roof. It could be a lifesaver for an incredible goal.
News travelled fast to Leicester. Even scoring a second goal against West Ham would not be enough to save them. Then the final fateful whistles. Everton surviving once again at the death. Joy and relief at Goodison.
It's heartbreak at Ellen Road for the players.
But for the others, despair. Leeds relegated after 3 seasons back in the big time.
Well, it has been one hell of a ride for Leicester City.
And for Leicester, 7 years after that greatest fairy tale story of them all, becoming unlikely champions, their stay in the Premier League is over. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
And in the League Two playoff final today at Wembley, there was more drama. The game went to a penalty shootout, having ended 1-1 after extra time.
Taylor Charters can send Carlisle United to League One. And he has!
Carlisle United defeated Stockport County 5-4 in the end to secure promotion. It ends their 9 years in the 4th tier. And finally, to a little boy's big fundraising mission. 6-year-old Oscar Burrow is scaling the height of Everest, all in aid of a children's hospice in Chorley. But since Everest itself is out of bounds to such young mountaineers, he's doing a roughly equivalent climb up 12 of the UK's highest peaks. He's already raised more than £30,000 before his final ascent. Ben Nevis tomorrow. Natalie Horquera reports.
Most 6-year-olds will be enjoying their bank holiday off. But for Oscar Burrow, he's preparing to embark on an awe-inspiring mission.
How's it going, Oscar?
9 months ago, he set himself the challenge of climbing 12 of the highest mountains in the UK, reaching almost 8,849 metres, the height of Mount Everest. But he's not just doing it for the thrills, he's doing it to raise money for charity.
Helping poorly people and sending them on holiday, and now I'm doing it for swimming pools.
Oscar's raised over £30,000 for Darien House Children's Hospice in Chorley to send families on much-needed holidays and to fund swimming lessons for the children. So far, along with members of his family, Oscar has reached the top of 11 mountains, including Snowdon and Scafell Pike, and tomorrow will be his final challenge.
I'm climbing Ben Nevis tomorrow and I'm really excited.
Oscar was inspired by learning about Sir Edmund Hillary's conquest of Mount Everest, which is why he picked the 29th of May for the final climb, as this day marks the 70th anniversary of the historic ascent, because climbing Everest is his dream goal.
And I wanted to be the youngest person to climb it. But I can't. You need to be at least 18 or more.
OK, so you've got a few years to wait. So what's your next challenge?
To do the 3 Peaks Challenge in August in 24 hours.
For this small adventurer, the sky really is the limit. Natalia Horquera, ITV News.
Good on you, Oscar. Now, just before we go, the Grand Canal in Venice is famous for its breathtaking beauty, but never before has it looked quite like this. Police are investigating a luminous green stretch of water that appeared in the canal earlier today. Mystery surrounds the changing colour. Samples have been taken to try to identify the cause. And that's all for now. I'll be back with the late news tonight at 10. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.
Today we'll see warmer temperatures moving in from the east, especially around tea time. Heinz no added sugar beans sponsors ITV National Weather.
A very good evening to you. For many, it's been a stunning day out there, yet more warm sunshine as we head into the tail end of this long, late May bank holiday weekend. A touch cooler where we've got the cloud, and the same goes where we've got a bit of a breeze. Some late and low sunshine before dusk, and temperatures soon slide away in the next hour or so. Another chilly end to the day, a similar theme tonight, particularly through parts of Scotland, rural areas of England, Wales and Northern Ireland, and a bit too much of a breeze for any significant mist and murk to form. So by and large, clear and crisp from the word go into the new day, if a little on the chilly side for those up bright and early and missing out on a lie-in. Just a little cloud wafting in from the east, and where we've got the cloud cover and the breeze from the near North Sea, feeling cooler and fresher. Those temperatures a little more modest than recent days, but where we've got the afternoon sunshine, feeling very pleasant out there. Highs of 21, near 22 degrees across parts of central southern Scotland and parts of southern and southwestern England. Enjoy. See you soon.
Heinz no added sugar beans sponsors ITV National Weather.